Let's go to Scott Bessent, who's pitching the same thing we've been hearing all of them pitch this whole time.
And I can tell you, we're about to announce a rash of trade deals in the coming days, and a lot of these trade deals are going to include substantial investments in the U.S., whether it's autos, semiconductors, and pharmaceuticals.
Yeah. Well, you've said that the administration is not rushing these trade deals and that it's more about getting the terms right rather than just meeting deadlines. But we are, what, 10 days away from your August 1st tariff deadline. You've suggested that the president could extend the clock for countries making real progress on deals. So how hard of a deadline is that August 1st deadline for reciprocal tariffs to return with regard to China?
Well, let's break that down into the two pieces. First, I think August 1st is a pretty hard deadline, but what'll happen? Well, for all countries, because what I think will happen is that the tariff level will boomerang back to the reciprocal level from April 2nd. That doesn't mean we can't negotiate when the countries are at the higher level. As a matter of fact, I think President Trump may have created a pretty ingenious strategy here that, if you're working at the high level, you're actually going to work faster.
Next couple of days. It's the next couple of days. I want you guys to remember it was April 2nd when the next couple of days started. It turned into 2 weeks. Then it turned to a delay, then another delay, then specific delays. Oh, then overall delays, then letters, and now delays. And now negotiations while tariffs are implemented. Oh, but then the higher end ones are going to want to negotiate more. It's genius. It's the same damn plan he's been talking about since the beginning that hasn't worked yet, except for raising prices on a bunch of folks. Matter of fact, that was not Eddie Munster. That was that was Herman Munster there. Scott Bessent talking about it. He talks straight out of his throat. But other than that, Howard Lutnick, the ass kisser, he also, CNN pointed this out too. This is on Abby Phillips' show too. But they put together another compilation like they did before, but this time on Howard Lutnick, on how many times they keep talking about how they're pushing that back and it's going to come back in another 2 days. We're going to have tons of them in another day, in another 2 weeks. Here, what?
You're going to see over the next month or so, we're going to roll out dozens of deals. Oh, there are so many coming, and you're going to see deal after deal. This is going to start coming next week and the week after and the week after. We've got lots of them in the hopper. We're going to announce a whole bunch of deals over the next week or so.
Are you confident we can get these the big ones, the big deals done?
I have them done. The next 2 weeks are going to be weeks for the record books.
There's going to be deals for the record books. Howard Lutnick has so many things to say about how many in 2 days and 2 weeks and 3 more days and next time and the fourth time over and maybe this time in the fourth. I don't think anyone who actually cares enough or people who are still supporting this aren't listening to the way that they're approaching this. Maybe they don't understand how it works. Maybe they don't understand the degree to which they're lying to everyone. But I want to continue on with Scott Bessent and the way that he's trying to pitch this. This guy's got to be one of the worst spokespeople for this entire tariff policy that isn't working because he stutters a lot, he grumbles, and he swallows really hard right before he lies. It doesn't come off very believable.
You've talked a lot about lots of deals in the works. When might we see those?
I think you're going to see him in the next couple of days, Maria. I was in the Oval with the president yesterday, and again, he's applied this maximum pressure strategy. He sent out this group of letters to our trading partners and said, congratulations, here's your rate, unless you want to come and negotiate. And again, no one creates leverage like President Trump. It brought our trading partners to the table in a very fulsome way. So we just got this Indonesian deal, which was incredible. And I saw the first draft of the deal, and we ended up with the fifth draft. And thanks to President Trump, it got better every time.
You ever notice this tactic amongst these guys? I guess more specifically when it comes to these trade deals, but it comes with international things when he's not negotiating anything when it comes to ending all the wars that he said he's not going to end as he starts more. Every time they get cornered with having nothing to show for all the stuff that they've been saying for the past several months, they go back to, If not for Donald Trump, we would be nowhere. If I just was in the Oval with Donald Trump and he was just talking to me about how he knows everything. And I just think we should trust in Donald Trump. I mean, if not for the brain of Donald Trump, he had this ingenious idea to slap tariffs of 135% on countries and then hoping that they'll do anything that he wants them to do. And then when they don't, he pushed it back another 2 weeks and said, my bad, I guess we'll renegotiate again because I'm a great deal maker. That's not ingenious. That's just floundering. That's flailing your arms and not really realizing what you're doing. But they just have to pose it as being an effing genius because enough people they feel are in this cult will just listen to them talk about how great Donald Trump is. They keep talking about how great these deals are and how when they don't, or many countries are slapped with these tariffs, they're going to have to pay. They're going to have to pay. They're going to have to pay. I'll say it one more time. They keep saying that these countries that are getting the tariff slapped on them, that they're going to have to pay. But for some reason, every time they pay, so do you.
Wolf new this morning, more soaring prices at the grocery store, but it's not eggs draining your wallet this summer. The Department of Agriculture says the cost of beef is hitting record highs across the country. Let's go to CNN business and politics correspondent Vanessa Yurkevich. Vanessa, break down these numbers for us.
Yeah, the last time that Americans may have noticed sticker shock at the grocery store was when eggs were at record prices. Since then, they have come down because the avian flu, which was killing millions of birds, has been contained and supply is now back up. But it's a different story for beef. Just look at prices since January, up 9%. And beef is retailing at the grocery store for on average $9.26 a pound. And that is a dramatic increase since the beginning of the year.
So we move from eggs to beef, except if you actually pay attention to anything else, those are also rising as well. I believe in June, there was inflation rates that had gone up the way that they had always talked about it's never going to do. Inflation is so zero. They feel this is the thing. As they've delayed and ifed and head nodded and then head faked the next month. And in the third month, they say the fourth thing. It delays many things, or many industries, as they saw them start to do all these crazy non-thought out deals, or I guess tariff policies. That's all it really is. They started stockpiling their inventory so that they can maybe continue to act like these prices aren't going to go up, or to keep people buying their stuff. There's always an end game to this. There's always an end supply to this. And eventually it's going to catch up with folks, and it's starting to. Now, this isn't a bunch of hateful people that want Americans to do the worst ever, because right now Americans have to pay $9.26 per pound for beef, which is up damn near 10% since this guy came into office. All the things that people call Trump derangement syndrome, as they then happen, you have to at least say, yo, at least those things are happening, and maybe understand that the policies that he's carrying out, that he's running roughshod over the country with, are destructive. Just maybe, just for your life, rather than trying to live your life to stand up for him who doesn't know who you are. And honestly, if he did, he'd spit on you.